Hello, everyone. Good morning. Happy Monday, and thanks for joining for another installment of Connecting the Dots, which is my LinkedIn series within a LinkedIn series all about speaking to women in travel, travel tech, and hospitality about moments in their careers when things maybe didn't feel like they were going to plan. And the reason I think this is so important is because we often hear career advice from people with already the benefit of hindsight and everything's already worked out, and you can start to think that they just had it planned that way from the beginning, which is almost never true. It's called Connecting the Dots because, as Steve Jobs said, you can't connect the dots looking forwards, you can only connect them looking backwards, and you have to trust the dots will somehow connect in your future. So the idea is here, I have people from the future coming to give you a bit of a message if you're feeling at one of those moments in your career. And I'm really excited today to have Jacki Brown joining me. Hi, Jacki.
Hi, Emily. Thank you for having me. I love this whole concept.
Oh, thank you so much. I'm really pleased to have you. Let's start with where you are now, Jacki, and what you're up to at the moment.
So I have been on my own as a consultant for 2 years. I am the fractional head of marketing for Happy, the integration platform in hospitality technology. And I also work with other hospitality and travel tech companies on their product marketing. So how do they launch a new product, relaunch a product, launch into a new segment, region? And it is like a big puzzle that I get to help them figure out. I've done it over 35 times just in hospitality tech. And it's my personal passion and something that I really enjoy.
Awesome. So glad to hear you talk about that. And when you talked about that, you really look genuinely happy. Like, this is a great job for me to be doing. So I'm so pleased to see that.
Yeah.
So if you could cast your mind back and tell me about a difficult moment in your career when perhaps things didn't feel like they were going to plan or you weren't enjoying it so much.
Yeah. So there are a few, right? And I've had a few people, friends, colleagues say, "Oh, you're so successful now." And I just laugh because things may look shiny on LinkedIn and I'm giving advice and tips because it's helpful, right? I want to be helpful to people. But certainly all of that comes from experience and challenging times. So the one that I think will be most helpful to your audience is if I think back to my late 20s. And that was really, it was peak hustle culture and girl bossing, and Sheryl Sandberg's Lean In had come out, right? And I had joined a digital marketing agency that was about 20 people, and I was the third woman. And the role that I took there was an account manager role, but the account manager was also the head strategist and the project manager. And I had 7 clients at any given time, but I was brought on specifically to work on a fairly large hair care client and a big CPG company and manage all of their social media. So I had just left a social media manager role and branding role and come to the agency to work on that primarily. And at the start, it was absolutely incredible. The leaders of the company were in their mid-30s. There was such great creativity. I have never, still in my whole career, I've never worked with so many brilliant, creative people all in one place. But it really, you look and now you hear back of different things and people, what are those red flags? And someone, if someone says our company is like a family, that's a red flag. Well, that was big, right? It was like, we are a family. There, in fact, were family members working there. And
on that.
Not great. And we really spent so much time together. I was working 60 to 80 hours a week. So yes, we were going out for happy hour every Friday. We would go out for lunch. It became like my entire social circle because it was so all encompassing. We called it second shift. We would log off and get dinner, maybe go to the gym and log back on around 7 p.m. and work another 3+ hours almost every single night. I was working weekends every Saturday, I would go to a cafe at, 9, 10 a.m., start with my latte, still be working, have lunch, work through, grab a glass of wine by 4 p.m. as I'm still working for the day.
Wow.
We called it like, it was like you were living multiple lives. And I think because I was, funny enough, I was only there for 2.5 years. It felt like 5. And when you think about the hours you put in, it was.
Yeah. And that sounds just exhausting. Like
it's exhausting.
For yourself, for your social life, family life, and all of that as well.
Yeah. And when it was good, it was so good. I mean, we were pitching these incredible brands. We landed some incredible brands. It was a digital agency. And so what I've found now over time, especially, I hear it a lot, people come and say they need a new website, when in fact, they actually need branding. What they're unhappy about is not the user experience of the website or the design of the website. It's primarily that they don't know how to explain what it is that they do. And so I had this incredible opportunity to work with people who had done a lot of branding. And so I learned branding. I learned user experience. I worked with incredible designers, one of which who actually did my branding for my, as I've become a consultant, and another has actually helped and extended that branding. So it's fascinating how much I learned in a short period of time. And then things started to change. And that's when I realized there's kind of this sentiment in leadership where there's like a savior complex. And whoever comes in new, they're going to fix everything. Mm-hmm. And what I didn't know until I was there for like a year is that I had been that person, right? Me and my creative director partner, who we had done so much great work together, we came in around the same time. We were the saviors. We were benefiting from that for about a year. And then as we continued to grow, so I was there for about 2.5 years, we almost doubled in size during that time. And suddenly I started getting blamed for a lot of things. Mm-hmm. I became the scapegoat for things. I had people stealing my ideas and taking credit for them as their own. And it became very much this marketing bro culture, which if you're in marketing, you'll see it on LinkedIn, toning down a bit, but it's kind of an ongoing joke, like the marketing bros who are mansplaining marketing to everyone. And really the thing that got me was, it was a Sunday evening, 6, 7 p.m. my time. And I got a text message. How come you didn't respond to the client's email? Now, funny enough, I had seen the email because we were had to be on all the time, right? Mm-hmm. I had seen the email and it wasn't urgent. And so I said, nope, it'll wait till tomorrow morning. It's fine. And the guy who I was reporting to, who was the brother of one of the founders, was like, you need to respond. That's unacceptable. So I walk in Monday. I don't respond, by the way.
Well done.
I walk in Monday morning and I'm pulled into the conference room with both founders and the guy I'm reporting to, asking what's going on and where is my commitment, and how can I be so uncaring? And I'm just flabbergasted.
Yeah. Where's their care for their employees if they're making them work so much and stressing them out so much?
There wasn't, right? And what I had the benefit of was I had worked at 3 other companies by that point. So I knew this was not right. But I also, transparently, I had started making mistakes. Because when you're working that many hours that quickly, to the point that I had to sprint to the bathroom in between calls and different things. Yeah, I did forget to send the attachment in the email, right? Or you send multiple emails, or there's still things you're making mistakes. You're still learning. I was in my late 20s. I wasn't perfect, but if I had something, I had commitment. And for that to be questioned really hurt.
Yeah.
And then the part that gets deeper, I think, is the level of anxiety that I was experiencing. And so I've had anxiety since I was graduating college, and trying to get that first job. And my anxiety is almost directly correlated to my work. It pops up every once in a while elsewhere. It's mostly work related. And it was so bad that my heart was just like nonstop racing, and I couldn't really take a deep breath. And even if I wanted to go to the gym and go for a run, I really couldn't physically. Like, my body was so hyper alert that I couldn't dial it down.
Yeah.
And I decided to go to a therapist. I was like, oh, well, this is what people do. Like, what can I do? How can I start to overcome this? I only had one session before I found out it was not covered under my health insurance. And in that one session, the therapist told me to leave my job.
No way. And therapists don't normally tell you what to do.
No, they don't. And it still took me a year to listen. Because I had been part of something so good, right? And so this, like, to give it and to be recognized for it and then have it taken away, you really start to believe it. You start to believe that you're the problem and that you are not doing something right.
It almost sounds, sorry to interrupt you, it almost sounds like a semi-abusive relationship where they love bomb you for the first year and then start gaslighting you after that. Just to throw in some psycho terms there, but like,
yes.
And people are coming in and expected to be the savior of everything, and then they get blamed. It's just this cycle where the people in charge are not taking responsibility for the success of the company, and then everyone under them is struggling. It sounds like a really tough situation to be in.
Yeah. And they brought in a lot of junior people right out of college and interns who really didn't know anything else, right? Didn't know better. And so at least I had a little bit of understanding that this was not okay and it was toxic, and tried to explain that, honestly, to management as well as to my peers. But it's hard. It's really hard to be in that kind of a situation and not believe it.
Yeah.
And then to be told things like you're not strategic, you're not empathetic, things that you felt were your strengths. Funny enough, one of the things that really helped me recognize what was going on, I was still volunteering with my sorority that I had been involved with undergrad. And I was volunteering at a national level, and they had a convention that we were all going to, and they did the Strengths Finder assessment while we were there. And the number one strength that came back was strategic. And I was being told on a daily basis that I wasn't strategic enough. And I was like, well, I felt like I was strategic. I felt like that was what I was best at and loved doing. I asked to apply for an account strategy role and was told absolutely no way. And to see it come back in a kind of quantitative report was really validating.
Nice. I feel like this is a word that gets used a lot for women, of being, you're not strategic enough, because people can't grasp the reason that they don't want to promote the person. And often it's not for any good reason. That could be a whole nother LinkedIn Live that we won't get into today. But thank you so much for sharing that. And with hindsight, of course, you are where you are now, doing something you love. So with hindsight, did that moment teach you anything that you'd like to share?
So one, I learned a lot of great things as a marketer, right? I did so much. I learned about code. I mean, like, understanding the concepts. I don't code. But like, I really did learn so much that I use today. And anyone who's been at a marketing agency, we specifically at that agency talk about having PTSD, but a lot of people at agencies, right? It is like boot camp, and you learn a lot and you're happy that you're on the other side. I learned how to be a good manager. And I think that every time I've had terrible managers, I have been very mindful of what I'm going to bring as a leader and the kind of culture that I'm going to have. And especially now when I still look back, but forward from there, I was managing a team of 10 when COVID hit, many of which were parents. And how do you support and bring motivation during such a terrifying time and give people purpose, and also really respect all of the challenges that they were having on a daily basis, trying to even get work done. So much understanding that I think I was able to apply from going through the opposite experience. And I didn't even touch on some of the sexual harassment that happened as well. So there was just so much during that time. But getting out, making the decision to move on and build on the expertise that I had gotten was tremendous. And really recognizing that I had learned so much and I could take it on.
Nice. And kudos to you for doing that, because I know that coming out of a role where your confidence has been knocked, it's happened to me, where I was told I wasn't good enough, not doing enough, not able to do the role I was in. You come out of that and I felt such a need to prove myself, to try so much harder. And it can really take some time for your nervous system to like recalibrate and for you to feel like, no, actually, I am good at these things. I can do this stuff. So
yeah. And recognizing it, ultimately, it was burnout. It was 100% burnout. And I promised myself that I would never get myself into that position again.
Yeah.
And I almost did not that long ago. And I saw the red flags. I felt the anxiety really hitting that point. I saw things and I left immediately.
Good for you. At least you have the early warning signs now as a trigger for you.
Yeah. And a promise to myself.
I love that. And if you were to go back to that point in time and give your younger self a piece of advice, apart from maybe listen to your therapist, what would that piece of advice be?
Focus on the people who are with you and those relationships. And some of them really still continue today. And I really did learn so much. So get out of the situation as much as you can. I wasn't earning a ton. Some of the clients were driving me crazy, right? But like, what can you get out of this to really bring forward with you for the rest of your career, skills wise?
Yeah. Like even in those negative situations, we can still learn so much. Like you said, even learn what you don't want to do or take away the technical skills or the practical skills. Awesome. Thank you so much, Jacki. I really appreciate you sharing so honestly and openly, because I think that's severely lacking in a lot of like motivational career coaching that I see. So I'm really glad to tap back into that, even though it can be a bit upsetting or distressing sometimes, perhaps. I really appreciate you having you on. Thank you.
Thank you for having this series. I think it's really important.
Awesome. Thank you. And just for all of the listeners, if you're feeling like you're at an inflection point in your career and would like any external support from someone like me who understands the industry and has worked with other people in the industry to make the most of their careers, drop me a message and we can have a chat. Until next week, have a good one.